Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beer Geek Nation. I'm your host, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and happy Halloween to you guys as well. Sorry I'm kind of phoning in the costume this year. Didn't have time to get one together, but I do have my lit skull here, so little prop piece. But what are we here for? We're here for a beer review, and a lot of you guys, probably myself included, consider this to be a frightening beer. This, my friends, is the one, the only, the legendary Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, coming in at 18% alcohol by volume. And I have to give a massive thanks to Elliot over at SonomaWineUSA.com for hooking me up with this one. So what is the 120-minute IPA from Dogfish Head? Basically what it is, it's just an epically massive imperial IPA that goes through a 2-hour boil, and it's continuously hopped throughout that 120 minutes. It's then dry hopped for an additional month every single day. So just a massive beer. And as you guys know, Dogfish Head had some problems with the previous batches of this. The last 2 or 3 batches haven't been up to their standards. The last batch they produced, they actually had to dump. They just weren't happy with it. It didn't attenuate where it needed to be. So, and you actually saw that on their TV show. So this is the first batch since that. It's been about a year and a half or so. A lot of good things have been said about this batch. I haven't had it personally. So without further ado, let me get into a glass so that you guys know how it smells, tastes, and give you the verdict on the Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA. All right guys, so the appearance on the 120-minute IPA, it's that classic imperial dark orange with hinges of yellow on the curves of the glass, like a sunset type of yellow. There was about a finger's worth of an off-white head on there. It's kind of reflecting the color of the beer, so you're getting like tight, little bits of yellow and gold in there. Nice tight white bubbles. There is some decent head lacing on this one. You do definitely get alcohol legs at 18%. I would expect that. Lots of carbonation. The head is dissipating pretty quickly, but not as quick as I thought it would be for 18%. It's actually a really nice looking beer. All right guys, so the aroma on the 120-minute IPA. Wow, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Right at the front, there's a big peach mango, overly ripe peach and mango juice. Nice sweetness, like a fruity ester from the alcohol in this one. Big bready notes, just a sweet kind of bready malt character. Definitely getting a little bit of the alcohol, but for 18%, it's not overwhelming at all. A little bit of citrus in there, a little bit of pininess, but it's that really big kind of classic Dogfish Head, bready sweetness with an earthy, herbal kind of hop character. Yeah, but it's not nearly as intense or aromatic as I thought it was going to be, but it's what I would expect. All right guys, so the taste on the 120-minute IPA. Cheers. Wow. Whew. Wow, right at the front of the tongue, massive hop bitterness. I wasn't expecting that based on the aroma, but there's a big hop punch right at the front of the tongue. Middle of the mouth, this thing is absolutely nuts. I'm getting mango and peach and just absolutely epic quantities of sweet, juicy hops. And they balance really nicely with this almost overwhelmingly sweet malt that on its own would be way too much, but because of the hops and because of the bitterness from the hops and the sweetness from the hops, it really kind of balances each other out just enough to mix a nice kind of sweet hoppy juice with like a bready kind of malty, overly sweet backbone to really help balance each other out. Let me tell you about the alcohol in this one. 18%, you absolutely almost don't taste it. It's there a little bit, but you feel this thing burn like fire. I mean, in the back of the throat, down through the chest, it's just starting to fill up after like 2 sips of this really burny, for lack of a better word, alcohol. But it's really not all that boozy, surprisingly. It's definitely a sipper, and as it kind of warms up, I kind of get more of that alcohol, and I'm getting more of the sweetness from the malts. It is a bit on the sweet side, but for 18%, and being a Dogfish Head beer, it's kind of what I would expect, but actually I'm really surprised by how balanced this beer is. All right guys, so the final verdict on the Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, 18% alcohol by volume, extremely limited availability. And again, check out SonomaWineUSA.com. Got to give a big thanks to them. Guys, I'm going to give this one a B+. I am very pleasantly surprised by this one. I was expecting an overly sweet, boozy mess, and I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting a big, hoppy, sweet, citrusy beer with kind of almost to the point of being overly sweet malt, but the hops really balance it out over, so it's not cloying at all. 18%, I gotta tell you, like I said, it's a sipping beer for sure, but you don't taste a lot of that booziness. As it warms up, you get a little bit more, but you feel it more than you actually taste it. You know it's an 18% beer. It's like, hold on, I'm not messing around here, but you definitely don't get it as much in the taste as you do in the actual feel. And overall, I think this is a very well-balanced Imperial IPA for an 18% Dogfish Head beer. I'm really surprised, and actually quite pleasantly surprised, to be completely honest with you. I think if you haven't had it, definitely check this year's batch out. This beer ages with the best of them. This is one of the only IPAs I would say to age. This and maybe Founders Devil Dancer are two awesome candidates to be aged. They actually say aged well right on the bottle. So with that said, guys, Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, getting a B+ for me. Happy Halloween, and remember folks, life is too short. Drink amazing beers. Cheers.